That includes efforts like increased access to home ownership, growing the stock of affordable rental units, business and financial education, funding for area entrepreneurs, as well as investments in parks, right, Phyllis? And public services. And just like any neighborhood, Lift Indy is a collaboration. I want to thank all of today's partners, individuals and groups at the federal and local level, entities from the public and private worlds. I would be remiss if I did not especially recognize Ashley Gervitz of United Northeast CDC, and of course, Pete Yonkman from Cook Medical Group. I think I even see Gretchen Gutman from Cook in the back, so let's give a shout out to Gretchen as well. Ashley, Pete, and the entire Cook team have played critical roles in bringing together a community. But though the partnership is diverse, our goal remains the same: to provide tools that allow more residents to live out their ambitions in the very neighborhood that they call home. So my thanks to all partners today on this tremendous step forward for the East 38th Street corridor. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce the counselor for this district, the 13th district, Keith Graves. Give it up for Keith.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. As our illustrious mayor mentioned, my name is Keith Graves. I'm a member of the Indianapolis City County Council, so proudly representing and partnering with my neighbors in Council District 13. As counselor of District 13, I am so excited to be here with you all for this important announcement. This $3.5 million investment from Mayor Hogsett for the East 38th Street corridor is a significant investment in an area that has been underfunded and overlooked for far too many years. I use the phrase, the zip code divide. I use it to point out that your zip code is more than just part of your address. Families in certain zip codes are thriving, while other families that live in different zip codes are struggling. It is clear that the zip code divide exists. Your zip code can be the determining factor in your very chance to succeed, and even your life expectancy. Your zip code can determine whether there is access to essential services and needs like health care and fresh food in your local grocery store, or even safe, affordable, decent housing. So this Lift Indy investment will revitalize this East 38th Street corridor and will create opportunities for residents to overcome social and economic obstacles, and this investment will dismantle the zip code divide. Thank you. But certainly, investments like this do not happen overnight. They are made possible because of successful partnerships and community collaboration. This investment happened because different entities and people had a vision, and they all came together to collaborate and contribute their specialized skills to revitalize our neighborhood. It was made possible because of the dedication and commitment of community leaders and partners like United Northeast CDC, Indianapolis Neighborhood Partnership, Cook Medical Group, Goodwill of Central and Southern Indiana, Black Onyx Management, and many, many more. They have all worked together to foster development collaboratively and holistically. So I want to say thank you to each of these wonderful organizations for your willingness to work together with the goal of improving the quality of life in our community. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, I do see many of my stakeholders and those neighborhood association leaders and faith-based leaders here today, and I want to say thank you for continuing to rally alongside with me, shoulder to shoulder, as we continue to do the work that will make our neighborhood better. I would like to thank Mayor Hogsett and Director Andrews and the team at Department of Metropolitan Development for investing in our neighborhood and improving the lives of families and children for many years to come. My colleagues and I on the council are proud to continue to support community development and improve the quality of life in partnership with our mayor for all residents across Marion County, Indianapolis. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Good morning to each and every one of you. I would just want to start off by taking a moment to say thank you for being a part of this gracious celebration. Can we just take a moment to applaud each and one of you for being here? If you look across the room right now, I say we're really fortunate to have this Lift Indy announcement talk about the sacrifice of what it means to be true community partnerships. From our long-standing community leaders, like our resident neighborhood association presidents, to our elected officials, our community partners, and even our corporate and institutional means. We are here today because each and every one of you said, let's not look at the divide, but let's now come together to unify on a new front. With that, I want to take a moment just to first acknowledge why is Lift Indy extremely important here for the corridor. Despite East 38th Street being a main corridor, which makes a connection to 465, we connect east side to west side. We are at a pivotal means where we can continue to see that of the development be without the community, but there's been major intentionality due to the great leadership with Mayor Hogsett's administration, our community partners like Cook, Goodwill, and also INHP. We cannot forget them as well. But we are really fortunate to see that our facility, like the one we're in today, the future Indy Fresh Market, the Indigo Purple Line, and the increased community activism. And again, I'm going to emphasize community activism. They have stood with us to see that community development can be done with community and done right with community. And I cannot emphasize that enough. With Lift Indy, it's more than the means of home ownership, where right now we are at an accolade of seeing Black home ownership within the community. But how do we retain that when there's development coming? Lift Indy will help preserve that. When we're dealing with across the county and in the nation as a whole, the access to healthy, safe, affordable rental options, Lift Indy is going to help provide that. And it'll be one with an affordability rate, so as our community rises, we'll be able to rise and see that everyone be a part. From the economic development, now let's be real, money moves. And that means moving the needle where our average household income right now is around $25,000, depending on the zip code, to $36,000 in some areas. But what if we were to make sure when it's our small businesses that have kept life along our corridor alive, that they can be advanced with partnerships like Black Onyx, and the means that the dollar can be intentionally focused along our corridor. That's what Lift Indy means for us. To wrap up, of course, all of this is fun, but what about the means of building off of the togetherness we see in the room today? The sense of belonging where you can walk down a corridor without wondering, is it going to connect from point A to point B or have to walk through grass? With that, we can have a sense of culture and pride in where we can come from. And then lastly, of course, knowing food access is an equalizer for everyone. Doesn't matter your income bracket. Everyone deserves healthy, fresh food. Everyone also as well, to help advance their attainment with economic values, should also be a part. And that, again, is one of the pivotal bits of our Lift Indy announcement, and truly thankful for the partners that have come alongside us to see we can be there. And when I talk about community partnerships, the residents, as far as what we stand for as an organization, if they're not at the table, we don't want a part of it. So knowing the partnerships, we've acknowledged that they share that same means of support, and I want to take a special moment to thank the Indianapolis Neighborhood Partnership that has seen an invitation to come to the community and help us wrap around what it means to be a good neighbor and giving the keys of access and success here. To the Indianapolis Metropolitan Development Division with Indy DMD, under the great leadership of Mayor Hogsett, thank you for everything you do to see that the people investment is intentionally going to help us rise as a neighborhood. Indy Parks and Recreation, looking forward to continuing to foster that sense of what it means to play safely and profound, and having that energy burnout when we need families to gather during the most pivotal times of memories. Of course, Cook Medical, thank you. Thank you for giving our community the gift we've been looking for, especially at the time we were just wondering how we would move forward. Economic power is truly one that's been transformative in seeing us be the glue that we need. And that's also done in partnership with Goodwill, commercial services, and the full umbrella of support. When we think about as well, Indy Fresh Market, I got to point out Michael and Marcus. If you're here, if you can, please stand. Thank you. Michael and Marcus are two individuals that I hope you please take the time to know. As Eastside residents, still in that millennial bracket, they're helping us give a good name to being millennial. You guys, I have to share that. But when we were at the pivotal height of the pandemic and wondering who was going to show up to feed our community, they were never afraid to show up and ask, how can we help? While trying to get their doors open and make the conversion from a local convenience to be now celebrating a full-service grocery store in the same parking lot. So I thank you so much for your commitment. To our other partners, I want to take a moment to say thank you to Equity 1821. If you don't know about 1821, your homework today is to learn about the first Black business opened in that year. And under the great leadership of Black Onyx, thank you so much for the nuances and the waves of finding we are in a pivotal bit of raising the level for what it means to have Black excellence in our city. To Black and White Investments, Horizon Bank, and Flaherty and Collins, we also thank you as we continue to break ground. Lastly, for my staff, the board, thank you for being here on this journey. There was a sense of time when we look about what it means to be a developer in a majority Black community. I'm never going to fret to say that there are times of uncertainty when disinvestment comes and trying to attract new members to see our potential. Our team stuck with us, and we are here today because of them. So thank you so much for everything you do. And with that, I want to, again, thank you so much for being on this journey. This is just the beginning. Please be on alert for the different announcements for other developments. I'm looking at Pastor Sullivan in the back and the developments that are underway for there, Pastor Shobe and others. And Eskenazi, we cannot forget about Eskenazi that have made that same commitment. So we're just off and we're going to continue to climb. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Mayor Hogsett and Ashley and DMD for the opportunity today to share Indianapolis Neighborhood Housing Partnership's role in the future growth of East 38th Street. I'm Gina Miller, and I'm the president and CEO of Indianapolis Neighborhood Housing Partnership. So I must say, this is an incredibly passionate team leading these efforts and one inspiring neighborhood poised for equitable growth. Ashley and her team's vision for the 38th Street corridor, this demonstrates their commitment to inclusive growth and a mindset for development that is always inclusive growth at its center. Not only do they want to invest in the health and well-being of the area, but they've also made it clear that more affordable housing is of utmost importance to the area's vitality. Housing continues to be a critical issue across the city and across the nation. That's why we're excited at INHP to bring our expertise in affordable housing to Unique and its partners, to help you reach your goals and to leverage the Lift Indy program to positively impact housing availability in this neighborhood. Unique has called upon INHP to deploy several strategies and encourage more affordable, sustainable housing opportunity in this neighborhood. For aspiring homebuyers, the Lift Indy program provides the critical capital to support our Market Expander mortgage product. It provides the opportunity for buyers to build wealth through homeownership and increase purchasing power in today's incredibly challenging environment. For continued neighborhood growth, INHP is supporting Unique in the development of 5 new single-family homes and will provide loan capital in the future for the creation of the development of multifamily housing. Thank you. Thank you, Unique. Thank you to the City of Indianapolis for your commitment to support housing as a critical component of the Lift Indy initiative along 38th Street. We applaud you for the intentional and inclusive way in which this neighborhood aspires to grow. We're excited to continue the hard work ahead of us, and we're extremely proud for INHP to be a part of this neighborhood's catalytic initiative. Thank you.
Good morning, folks. It's good to see all of you. It's really a pleasure to be here today. This is an exciting day for the community, for the neighborhood, for all of us. And I want to start by saying I appreciate all the thanks that we've received as Cook. But I really want to tell you the only reason that we're here is because of one person. That one person is Ashley Gervitz. I'll tell you a story. So we were interested in the project in Indianapolis and met with a lot of communities. And we met with a lot of different people, and they had a lot of different approaches. Some of them talked to us about, here's the tax benefits, here's the incentives that are in place. And Ashley came in. She had a different approach. She had more of a millennial approach, I think. She had that millennial energy, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And she didn't talk about any of the other stuff. She just said, you have to come meet the people in my community. That was a very different approach and something that rang true for me. And so we did. We got to know the people, and we were just so impressed with the community, the passion, the leadership, that's why we're here today. So I just want to say thank you, Ashley. I want to say thank you to the mayor and to the Indianapolis Department of Metropolitan Development. The money is important, no doubt, but I think more important is the recognition of this community and the work that's been happening for so many years here. It's a validation of all the efforts of so many people, and I think that's just equally as important. And And I know when you select this community, I'm sure you know this, but I can tell you, you'd be hard-pressed to find a community in Indiana that is more passionate about working together to solve problems. This is very unique to this community. As Cook, I get to travel around to a lot of different facilities all across the world. We have locations, and I meet a lot of different communities, and many of them are struggling and have their challenges. And what I find fascinating is the communities that change that dynamic, that they change the trajectory, is because of community leadership. It's because somebody stands up and says, we're going to make this better, and they work together, and that's what we found here. And so I don't think you can underappreciate, or you can't appreciate more, however you say it. It's really important that you recognize the efforts that you do every day don't go unrecognized, and they're unique, and you should honor that and cherish that because it really is special to this community, so thank you. And it's an honor to be standing here today because there are so many partners and leaders who have worked on this project throughout this, and they're working every day to try to remove those barriers that are keeping this community and our residents from reaching their full potential. And I think what you see in this room, what I see in this room, it represents a powerful alignment of resources. We have representatives from government, from business, from not-for-profits, from community leaders, community advocates, all across the board. And for me, that's a perfect way to illustrate the fact that some of these challenges can't be solved by one single entity. They require us all coming together and to put our resources together. And I think that lasting, positive, systemic change requires all of us, each of us. We all have different resources and skills. Government has grants and policies and regulations and endless regulations and regulations and that's just a joke. But we all have different things that we bring to the table, and they're more powerful when they're aligned around this common goal. And I think it also requires thinking outside the box sometimes. So, you know, there's a lot of talk about companies and what their corporate responsibility is, and sometimes it's a check the box exercise sometimes. And we were looking for something different. We were looking for a partnership. And I think we believe that real successful community development comes when grassroots efforts are combined with organizational resources. That's where we see the true magic happen. And I think we recognized early on that this community had the energy and the passion in place, and they knew the answers to the solutions. All of you knew the answers. And so what we did was we just came along and we aligned our energy with all of yours. And that's where I think the success has been and where the fun has been in all of this project. And I want to introduce a concept that we haven't talked about formally much yet, or publicly, but it's called the Sankofa Access Zone. And it's a group of us that have been coming together over the last year, community leaders, community advocates, community members. And it's a zone that spans from 34th Street to 42nd and Sherman to Shadeland. And in that zone are about 10,000 people. And what we did as a group, we came together and we sort of asked ourselves a simple question, which is, how can we work together to ensure that the people who live here today have the safety, health outcomes, education outcomes, food access, and opportunity for upward mobility that they deserve? It's a simple question, but a complex answer. And I think all of us around the table are realizing the power of working together and what that can mean. And so the support announced here today from the Lift Indy grant will be vital to the residents in this zone and help the momentum that I think you can feel in this room today. So I want to say thank you to the Indianapolis Department of Metropolitan Development, to the mayor. This is an incredible opportunity, and I think it really highlights your vision of a sustainable, healthy Indianapolis. And I want to say thank you to the Sankofa partners, people who've been working this group, to the community members here today. You've been wonderful neighbors to us. We hope we're good neighbors to you, and we appreciate all your support and effort, and I'm humbled to be with you and thankful for the journey. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So Councilor Graves told me that he did not see me at the Sigma Gamma Rho celebration. And so to come to his district, I had to wear the colors. And so these are the colors of the sorority. No, I'm just kidding. We're all family here. Small businesses are the most trusted institution in the United States. If you don't believe me, you can ask Gallup. In a recent survey of all the institutions that we have, more than government, more than large corporations, more than religious institutions, small businesses have been a cornerstone of community. Everyone has their spot in their neighborhood where they go, where that small business provides the unique experience that makes that community. We're privileged at Equity 1821 to have the opportunity to meet businesses where they are. We believe that there's an opportunity to grow Black businesses, but all businesses in particular. In the recent pandemic, we appreciated the fact that we expected 41% of businesses to close. We've seen the opposite. We've seen an emergence of entrepreneurial spirit, and that's credit actually to leadership coming from the city and other corporations as we seek to have a more vibrant community collectively, and I think we should clap for that. Within this spirit, we still have hard realities. Only 2.2% of Black businesses in Marion County have employees, compared to around 20% of other businesses. We faced a 40% closure rate in the state of Indiana before COVID. And there's a number of inequities that I could continue to talk about, but when I think of businesses, particularly small Black businesses located in this community, I see them as the opportunity that they are. I see them as the social cohesion centers that they are. And so Equity 1821, through the Lift Indy program, is pleased to have the opportunity to come alongside businesses in this community where the community partners have decided that they're not going to build a community for someone else to come into, but they're going to raise the boats for community folks here. We're appreciative of the opportunity to support businesses that will be looking to hire, that will be looking to expand, and will be looking to build on the social cohesion that is in this community right now. We understand the assignment. Ashley, we got it. She also gave you all some homework, and I'm going to help you out. When you think about Equity 1821, I want you to think about David Mallory. In 1821, around the year of the city's founding, David Mallory came to this community and created a barbershop. A barbershop. Another example of a place where people go to find community. For 200 years, Black businesses have been in the city. There have been ups and downs, but in 2021, Equity 1821 was founded to come alongside and to help businesses in that particular community and other underserved communities grow. And so we're very pleased to have the opportunity to partner with Lift Indy and all the other partners that are part of this effort to think about how we raise incomes so that when the tide does come, everybody's on the boat. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. And thank you to our partners at Unique, INHP, Cook Medical Group, Equity 1821, Indy Fresh Market, Flaherty & Collins, Horizon Bank, BWI and BIC, and many more. The partners that are gathered here today provide an outstanding model of a public-private partnership, what it really means to make community and invest in quality of life. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to Goodwill of Central and Southern Indiana team for hosting us at this beautiful facility this morning for this celebration. And last but certainly not least, I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to thank my colleagues at the Community Investments team of the Department of Metropolitan Development, including Jenny Foltz, Michelle Winfield, Beth Neville, Danielle Massey, Costin Ritter, and Rusty Carr, our review committee for the Lift Indy program, and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. We look forward to working with these outstanding civic leaders in the next 3 years to bring these projects to life. Thank you. And we will take a photo with everybody that spoke today, and then we can do one-on-ones with the media as needed. Thank you.